Everybody, it's Sugar Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we have kind of a follow-up video where we're going to be taking another look at my Tisas BR9. It's their carry version of their 2011 type style 1911 9mm handgun. We've made some changes to it. It should be a good time today. Let's get to shooting. Okay, so first up I want to talk just a little bit about this gun. It's really quite the budget option from Tisas, and I really like it. What I have on top of it, I have the Holosun SCS, and so this is the 507K RMSC type footprint that they come pre-cut with this, and I love guns that are cut. Just choose an optic footprint. Let me buy the optic that fits that footprint and be damned with all of these plates and crap like that. They did that. They chose the RMSC type footprint, and I think that's a fantastic choice because that is just about the width of this gun. So I really like that there. And this is one of those that is an enclosed optic, and it's their brand that has an internal battery, and so it's charged by the sun. So we're getting charged all up out here. You can temporarily increase the brightness, but if you're running something like night vision, you won't be able to turn this down low enough because during the dark, it will get brighter. And I have other videos on the Glock MOS type system that they did, and it does a good job. The only time I've ever seen it not do great is when you're in a dark room and you're shooting into a bright area, and so it will think it's dark and it will go a little bit dimmer than you need it to be. And again, you can just press that button and you're up to where you need to be. The other thing on this is I got the the carry version of this BR9, and I hope I'm saying that right. If not, I'll just put it in the comments. But as you can see, it only has 3 pick rails. And you might think, hey, that's no problem, that's fine. Well, as you can tell, and I'll zoom in here with our couple of lights here, when we take a look at this and we try to see where this light will mount up, you see it comes in here, and the ledge for it to mount doesn't fit. And there is no Surefire, Streamlight, or Holosun type mounting system for it. Actually, on a TLR7, there is one version, I think it's like their 1913 version, type 4 type mount that you can trade out on a TLR7. This is, again, a Surefire X300 Ultra. But so this will not fit on this gun. Well, fortunately, people over at QVO Tactical have created, and they look like they 3D printed, and that's what all of these things are. They're just plastic in here. And they 3D printed a part that moved that connection ledge way back. So now with that QVO insert, you can take out the Surefire one, put that in, and it'll fit on the last lug on this. Why Tisas designed it like this, I don't know if there's different lights in Turkey or not, but if they're selling something in the American market, and they do have a version that's their duty version, this is their carry version, has that dust rail just going out just a little bit further, and that extra slot is exactly where you need it to be. So if you don't want to go through this hassle, you might just get the little bit longer version, the duty version instead of the carry version, and that'll get you there. What else has gone on with this pistol is that when I got it from the factory and I heard from others, it worked pretty good, but it had a hard time cycling steel case ammunition. So what I did was I replaced the extractor with EEMaan extractor, and now what I know is I probably could have just bent it into shape. There's several videos out there. You can bend the extractor to create just a little bit more tension and allow it to extract those rounds just a little bit better, but instead I bought something and put it in, and it works fine, and so we'll test that today and show that today. And then also I put the EGW Ignition kit. It fits the Springfield Prodigy, so if you're looking to do any type of upgrades, get the kits that fit the Springfield Prodigy type system. Again, not this is specific to that rail, but any of the internals will fit the Springfield Prodigy. I'm sure they fit others. That extractor kit was just for 1911s, 2011, so there's no issue with that. So I also have down here the Threat Cadre Magwell. Big Johnson put me onto that. I've done my own stipple job. His own stipple job. Yeah, it turned out okay. I'm actually happy with it. It provides just a little bit more grip texture, and the original was just a little bit too slick for me, and I feel a lot better with this. Okay, enough yapping. Let's get to shooting. Okay, well, we have a target down at about 7 yards, 21 feet. We're gonna see how it does. We have some MagTech steel case. And again, this gun, you know, had lots of failures every 3 or 4 rounds. We've got maybe somewhere between 12 and 15 rounds in the gun. We'll see how we do, kind of just shooting slow and accuracy and seeing how the gun functions. Tell you what, it is such a fun gun. It has very light trigger pull. I didn't really discuss that. We have a red dirt trigger in it, and it's about a 3-pound trigger, maybe 2.75. Very nice trigger inside of it. Hopefully you can see that. Let's just ghost it real quick. I have tested it, and it went from maybe about a 5-pound trigger down to 2.75, something like that. So we will ghost it here for you. Here's the trigger. Very nice. I will do a reset off camera. Here is the reset of the trigger, a little bit there, and it has good pushback, and then boom, we're on again. So it's a very nice trigger with it. Okay, well, we have quite a few more rounds. I have some steel target up. I have a camera on some of the steel and target on some of it not on it, so you'll hear some of the pinging when I'm going for the steel that doesn't have it, and some of the steel that has the target camera will show that. So we've got, I don't know, another 35 rounds, something like that we're going to shoot through and just kind of continue to show reliability and how the gun performs. We're standing at about 16 yards, get a little bit away from the steel. All of my bragging. And that one was a failure to go into battery. It was not a failure of extraction. That's what we're getting right there too. So okay, don't know if it needs more oil. A lot of times these 2011s need a little bit of oil, but gun seems to be running okay, except for that one failure to return to battery, which I don't like, but is what it is. So let's have some more rounds, do some more testing. It's kind of fun. Got a few more rounds. I've got more of this 124 grain MagTech steel case, and then I also have a second mag that has some Blazer Brass 115 grain. So yeah, just some variety as we shoot out here today. Really like the dueling tree. That was kind of a fun little addition to it. Hopefully you all enjoy it. I probably enjoy it way more than you all. So I did oil it up and it seems to be running just a little bit better. I had been shooting and testing and other things with it. Not tons of high round count on it, but that could be the issue. I have not touched the springs or other things like that. And a lot of the components have been changed out. I did also based on Wyoming Gun Project. So a lot of this was based on Big Johnson Guns and Gears help from me. But then Wyoming Gun Project did put me on to the detent spring from Wilson Combat. So yeah, so I'm liking all these things. Let's go back. Let's go back as far as we can on this range, see if we can hit that steel plate. Okay, well, we're at about 40-ish plus 45 yards away from the target. And you can hopefully, I don't know how this is going to do. I film all of my own stuff. Hopefully you can see something with this. And we got a hit. And we got off the last little few. Let's go down range, see what we got. About 15 rounds. Let's see, we had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, So we missed maybe 2 or 3 rounds. Maybe I had 17, so we missed probably 4 rounds. Yeah, not bad at that distance with that gun. Okay, well, let's wrap things up today. We had our Tisas out and we talked about some of the ways that we improved on it. Again, fine gun when we got it straight from the factory. The only real issue I had with it was steel case rounds not cycling, and particularly not ejecting is what was happening with it. We talked about the optic that we have on here. We have the Holosun SCS, which is battery powered, internally battery powered and powered by solar, so there is not a replaceable battery with it. But it is an enclosed optic and it fits this format, and I really like it. Also, we talked, or maybe I didn't talk about, but we have been able to use some of our Staccato C2 mags. So it takes basic traditional 2011 type magazines. So fired some of the Tisas and some of the Staccato branded magazines. We talked about how we had to swap out, or we chose to swap out some of the internals. We improved on some of the components that I think that probably may have not been as good a quality coming from a company like Tisas, and we upgraded it, and it's really awesome. We have a great trigger. We have kind of all the internals, so the trigger pull, everything is super awesome from EGW. We have the EEMaan new extractor in here, and that seems to work great. We did have one malfunction while we were shooting steel case, and that was a failure to return to battery, which typically happens on some of my 2011s, even my Staccato, when it starts to run a little dry. And admittedly, I did not lube this up before we shot today. Now, not that you have to do it every time, but you do have to lube any type of 1911, 2011 a bit more frequently than your Glocks or M&Ps or other types of guns. Again, this is, in terms of a budget option, this is pretty incredible. You can get these things really cheap right now. And so with all of these things done and said to it, and improvements and top of the line products into it, we're still at a third of the price of a Staccato C2, maybe even a quarter of the price of the Staccato C2, something like that. So depending on what the Staccato C2 could cost. So things like that, this is a pretty good budget option. If you're looking to get into 2011s, I would highly recommend it. I'm enjoying this. It is not the same. Let's just be clear, it is not the same. You can feel the difference. How smooth it is to rack the other gun, the Staccato gun, is definitely better than this Tisas. And that comes with some hand fitting that they do. But other than that, it's a great gun. I would trust it to carry it. I would trust it to use it in competitions and other things like that. It's a limited optics gun. It could be very well for that. It could be for home defense, concealed carry, a number of types of options like that. So let me know what you guys think. Is this something that you've been considering? Have you been intrigued by Tisas? Do you own like 10 of them? Tell me what your experience has been with them. And I hope everyone has a great week, and I hope that we can all get out to shooting as soon as we can. So let's get to shooting.